Good morning, everyone. Bob, how's it going this morning? Can you hear me? Thumbs up there? There's a thumbs up. All right.
Yeah, it's doing good. How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Doing all right. How's the grocery business? Everybody still cleaning the shelves off every day, or people starting to calm down a little bit?
I took a vacation this week to kind of get a break from all of it, so
Oh, okay.
I'll find out Monday.
Good morning, Elise.
Hello, Elise.
I'm so excited to see you, Bob.
How's it going?
It's good.
So
How are you?
Looks like you get all the Four Seasons people in here. We're doing good.
Good.
Hanging out.
Thank you so much for continuing to work at Hy-Vee and be on the front line for all of us. I know we've all definitely been thinking about you, and I just want you to know that all of us appreciate what all of you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll pass it along too, because it's starting to be challenging.
I am sure that is an understated thing.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
So we're going to give everybody a chance to get started. We'll be sharing out. Elise, I'll get a link for you to email out to everybody for the 3 o'clock happy hour Zoom.
Okay.
Everybody.
I'm going to do an 11 o'clock Zoom on showing time. I have several agents that reached out to me from Four Seasons that want to do one, so I will record it, and I'll have you get me access to the YouTube channel so I can upload it.
I'll have to have you teach me how to get you access to the YouTube channel. I still have trouble. I have to go back to the email they sent me inviting me. I can't figure out how to get into it any other way.
I think it's through the front desk email because I get updates when people subscribe. So I think it's just the password.
You're getting a lot of subscribers.
I think we have like 8 now.
Okay, 8 out of 100.
We had 1 last week, so
that was me.
7 in 1 week isn't bad.
I subscribed at one point.
So. I think I subscribed using 2 of my channels. I have like 5, so.
Well, we're gonna have a good group, and popping in and trying to find Matt's session on YouTube. Yeah, Dan, I'm not able to get them up every day. I have to kind of schedule out some time to upload a few at a time. So sorry if you guys haven't had a chance to go back and watch Matt's yet. Matt did an awesome lead generation on Wednesday, and Jordan did an awesome one yesterday. I will get those up this evening and get them loaded up onto the YouTube channel. So I am not the world's best YouTuber. I apologize. I'm efforting to get them up there as fast as possible. So Dan Gilpin says, thanks, Elise. Bob, we appreciate the grocery workers so much. So absolutely. You guys are doing great. I assume by now everybody's gotten their logins. If you haven't, please reach out to Elise and Amy, and we'll work through any problems you have as far as our Four Seasons family. So if you haven't gotten a chance, I'm hoping you're taking advantage of this time to touch the command base a little bit, get in and start learning your way around the technology. I know I had a great one-on-one yesterday with Miss Margie, and we went over quite a bit, and she had a few ahas, and I think she was excited about the potential for it. So trouble getting ours to work, sent Amy a message. Good, stay on her. Amy will get that solved. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. Like I was saying, don't forget today, Friday, 3 o'clock, we're going to do a happy hour Zoom. Everybody, your favorite virgin daiquiri or adult beverage is fine. We will not be recording and sharing that one to YouTube. This will be for our agents to blow off a little steam, tell some funny stories, experiences through quarantine or showing in these times. So everybody join us at 3:00 with me and Karen, and we're gonna sit on our balconies and relax after a hard week of Zooming and quarantining. We're gonna have quarantinis. Nobody? Elise is laughing. All right.
That was hilarious, Martin.
Oh, whatever, man. There will be plenty more bad jokes like that today at 3, folks. Tune in live to see them.
Wow.
Is Richard on yet?
I do not see Richard on yet. No.
Oh, well, then what I was going to say is irrelevant.
Okay.
I was going to ask if we could pick our martinis up from his front porch.
Yeah. See if he'll deliver.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a baha from Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. All right, we'll give everybody a minute or two to get logged on. Grow up our group here a little bit.
Just to let the Four Seasons Realty people know, your transaction desks, the new ones, should start having your active properties in them sometime today. I was able to get Mary and Peggy's all done yesterday, which means I should be able to get to everyone else's today. So hopefully everything's there that needs to be by the end of the day. And if you have anything missing, please do not hesitate to let me know.
Excellent.
Hey, are you there?
Yes, Jenna, we are here.
So, Elise, on that, because we're having that issue, tell me what you did to bring those in. Do they feed in from KWLS? What's the deal?
No, the transaction desks, we had an issue with a lot of our, well, actually it was all of our active and pending properties. It didn't affect anything that was closed or expired or withdrawn. And they just flat out weren't showing. They were staying under our old broker on his transaction desk. So what I did, because I have an admin access for now on the MLS, is I went into our old broker, Richard Summers. I went into his transaction desk and I shared all of the necessary transaction desks with their respective agents.
Oh, so that's transaction desk in our matrix, not in our command.
Right. I
Okay.
don't think there's a way, it's my understanding that there's not a way to share the documents from command. So if, like, I know a lot of our agents really enjoyed having the disclosures already on the listing when, you know, in the MLS, so that people will agents see them.
Mm-hmm.
And there, to my knowledge, there's no way to make it attached to the MLS without doing it through transaction desk, which is like
Gotcha.
my only complaint about command. And I feel like if that's my only complaint so far about that program, we're going to have a good relationship.
Well, yeah,
All right.
you know what? Now that it's 9:03 and we're gonna have a few stragglers, I'm sure, but that's a good spot for us to dive in. So, command, and we're gonna look through command today. Command is your business, right? It's your business platform to run. So, what they're talking about, just to clear up, and when she says you can't share, you can share documents with your clients for signatures and email, things like that from command. What they're referring to is the documents that you can attach to a listing within the matrix that the other agent can pull up and download and have their people sign, right? Right, Elise?
Not necessarily to sign, but just, you know, if they're contemplating making an offer, a lot of times they'll be asked for the disclosures before
Yeah.
anybody
So,
actually submits anything seriously. So
yeah. So there's no way command doesn't give outside agents access to look at documents. Yeah, you'll still have to load those up and attach them to your listing. Absolutely. So Jenna,
But if they're in our DocuSign, wouldn't they be shareable at that point?
they're shareable. And that's why I was saying I think this is one of those things where the vocabulary, you know, they're shareable. You can share them, you can send them to people. On Matrix, you can upload them in the MLS, and then me as another agent can go into that listing and just pull whatever
Sure.
supplements you've done. So yeah, they're definitely shareable from command. That's why I was saying it's not that you can't share documents from command. You can't post up like you can on the MLS where someone can just go look at your listing and say, oh, look, here's those documents. And
See, and
Yes.
you can't necessarily see every document. You get to specify which ones are seen and which ones are not.
Yeah, because you have to mark them public.
on the
Right.
MLS, right, yeah. Also, and this is Jenna had sent me an email, or Terry had sent me an email. For those of you that don't know, Jenna and Terry are the peace selling team, so they work together. Terry had sent me an email earlier asking about you guys' listings feeding into opportunities from the KWLS. And you, like we looked at yesterday with Jordan a little bit, and we're going to go deeper into opportunities. Maybe we'll dive into that a little bit today as well. You have to create your opportunities. They don't feed in from your listings. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to pull up and share my screen as all of our latecomers have joined us now. So we did a good job of kind of chatting around for a few minutes. I'm going to pull up and share my command. See that? There you go. There's everybody's command. Put the pictures down here at the bottom. How do I get the chat bar up here? All right. Make sure I can see the chat. That's right. Marina says a quarantini is whatever you have around the house poured in a martini glass. That's a great way to put it, right? Whatever you got to drink. So all right. So you can log into command a couple different ways. You can go through your mykw.kw.com, which is kind of our intranet portal for agent information, et cetera. You can also just go straight to agent.kw.com or console.command.kw.com. So there's multiple ways to get to this front page. We're going to go ahead and sign in here. As we do every morning, we start our day in our command if we're doing what we need to be doing. And you're all familiar by now with the front page, right? You have your goal breakdown, so you can see where your activities are. Now mine are, I'm not an active agent, so I've put in goals to play and practice with that. And Andy's going to be diving in next week. He does a great goal setting class. Encourage everybody to jump in on that. It's never too late to set your goals. Also gives you your database health comparison, and it gives you the updates for the weekend. So the testimonial widget should be functioning again. New shuffle feature for quick post. Users can now delete admin accounts. So if you have an admin, they're no longer with you, you can now remove them if you're on team. And then from last week, agents can see the opportunity phase for the referral cards. That's if you're using the referral network, which don't forget, guys, you're now part of the largest referral network in the world, right? We have about 160, 170,000 agents around the world. So if you know anybody that needs a house anywhere, you can refer them to an agent and get paid for that. So that's a great thing to start with. So what I want to do today is I want to dive in a little bit harder on the opportunities pipeline. I know Jordan hit it yesterday, but we were talking about contacts, and from the standpoint of you get someone in, you create a contact, you go ahead and create that opportunity. And I wanted to I felt like we had a great conversation around it, so I wanted to dive in a little bit more this morning. This is your sales pipeline, right? This is your business. Now, it doesn't feed in for you to command from the KWLS, which is Keller Williams Listing Service, or the MLS. You have to create your opportunities. And one of the questions that we get a lot is, well, how do I know when to create them? I had an agent call me yesterday morning after the Zoom and say, well, should I create people for Cultivate it? It's really, especially from the Cultivate stage, you can run your business the way you want to, and you can track it the way you want to. And so if this is someone that you just met in a one-off and you don't feel like they're giving you good information, you don't have to put them in there. I encourage Cultivate to be used as, you got my name at an open house, you're going to try to capture my business, I seem like a good lead, put them in the Cultivate stage, right? One of the neat things about Command is it lets you customize it. So if you go to your settings, so you go up here to my little face and your little name there, and you go to settings. There's a couple important things on this setting page, and Margie and I worked through this yesterday. This is where you can connect your accounts, right? So your integrations, right? So your kellerwilliams.com, your kw.com email is a Gmail account. You can sync that up. Your Google Calendar that comes with it, you can sync that up. Twilio, all these different things. You can connect accounts to it, right? Command email is our base level emailer through here. Some of the things you can also do is you can customize your settings, right? So you can go to like contacts and say, okay, I want to create custom tags in here. And you could create a whole list of custom tags so that when you're putting in contacts, you can already have them ready, or you can do it on the fly, right? You can also create opportunity tags so that if you need to go back and search through your opportunities, you can search them by these different tags that you've created. So important to, as you're practicing, and Jordan talked yesterday about creating a dummy template, a test dummy contact. Create a test dummy contact, a test dummy opportunity, tag it different ways, figure out how you want the flow to be. Command has some things you have to do, but a lot of things that you can do the way you want to do them, right? And that's an important feature so that you can set your business up to run the way you want it to run. You can also come in here and take a look at, like, if you have a team, you can do your team data, right? Import logs. If you've logged in your contacts, you can get a record of importing those contacts in. Also, Connect is where you can set up a little profile. KW Connect is our social media platform for Keller Williams agents. So a lot of great opportunities here that you can use to customize and add things and integrate all into your settings, okay? So want to be sure and utilize that. So I'm gonna go back over here to opportunities. And we want to take a look. So one of the neat things, and people say, well, how do I move it? Well, right now you have watch, nurture, and hot. Now you can customize those and change them up if you want. Well, let's say Mr. Test Dummy goes from a cultivate, a watch, to a hot lead. He says, hey, Martin, I'm ready to buy. You can just grab it and drag it under here, right? You can move him along the stages with just a simple click and drag. Let's say it's a listing. I'm sorry, these are listings, not, so he doesn't say I'm ready to buy. He said, hey, Martin, I'm ready to list. That's a hot lead. So now I'm reaching out to him, I'm talking to him, I'm communicating, and now it's time to get it listed and active. I can take it and drag it up in there, and it'll go to the actives. So now when I go to actives, Mr. Test Dummy, we're getting it staged, right? So you can very easily drag these through so that you always have a good idea of where your deals are at, right? And a way to track it. You can also go with a list view or a board view. I prefer the board view. It's totally up to you. And this is where you can edit your stages. So let's say I wanted my staging to be, instead of staging, we'll call it preparing. Okay, save it. Now it's the preparing stage, right? You can change showing to appointments. You can customize it. Once again, don't hung up on figuring out what all these stage names mean. This is how you set up. So just like you would design your whiteboard to tell you what you want to know, this is where you get to customize and call it what you want, right? So be sure and customize those as you go. So I'm gonna come back to my opportunities, and we touched on it a little bit yesterday. Guys, it's so important that you start to put your deals in, right? And that you work them through the stages as you go. And the reason that's important is the artificial intelligence that we use is going to calculate, like right now, it takes basically industry standards to do its numbers. But after 30 to 4 deals have been put through, in the various stages and worked through it, Command will learn your probability and your potential, right? So it'll say, okay, if you closed all these deals, Martin, you could potentially make 63,000, but based on how well you close deals and how well you go from appointment to active to under contract, your probability is only 48.9. That gives us a great look at our numbers, right? That gives us a great look at how we're doing business-wise, and it also gives us a realistic picture of what our potential income is, our gross commission income. You'll hear us say GCI, that's gross commission income, so that we know how we're doing on track to hit our goals, so that we know how much money is probably coming in based on our statistics. And it also gives us a look at, where do we need to improve? You also get a chart where you can chart down how your probability is, when your activity is, so that you know if you want to winterize your business, and you can look back over the year and say, man, I did a lot in July and August and really, really picked up in December and January, but I was flat in May and June. Well, maybe you structure bills or you structure other things where you know you need, or you know you need to pick up the pace in lead gen in February and March because you didn't do that, and your May and June were flat, right? Because we're about 90 days out. So lots of great numbers and tracking of your business ability here in the opportunities, and you need to start putting your deals in as you work through it, right? So get in there, get your deals worked through, and that's a great place to go. Questions around opportunities? Sorry guys, I'm just kind of going to bounce around and hit some highlights because we've been focused on a lot this week.
Can I ask a question around opportunities?
Please, yes ma'am.
Okay,
As
so
long
we're
as
behind with
I can
command.
answer.
We're behind with command, as you know, and so the 4 deals that we've done, we need to start those and just finish them all the way through to closed,
Mhm.
and then start putting in the new ones that we're working on for the phases that they're at this point.
Yes ma'am.
Correct? Is
Yes
that
ma'am.
going to give us a false reading because 4 are going in as closed on the charts?
Well, so at first it will, because you're putting them in. So initially it'll make it look like, man, you do not, you're 100%, right? And that you close the most, but as you put them in going through the months, that number will level out, right?
Okay.
So yeah, at first, if the only data it has is that you closed 4 deals for X amount, it's going to go, well, this is the only numbers I have, so this is what you do. But as you put them in, that will plane off and give you a more accurate read.
Okay, should
Also, Martin, I had done mine in command, and then I put them over into, I did them in Dotloop and then put them over into command, and I did the commissions in command, and I did the green sheet in Dotloop, and Amy said I can't do both. It needs to be one or the other. It can't be both. So if you've already done a green sheet, don't do the commissions in command.
And you know what? That's a great point. Yeah, because right now, so for our 4 Seasons family, green sheets are what we called our commission request, basically, for the end of a deal. And that was the old system. We're phasing that out. Karen and Amy, when you get ready to close deals with us, we're just going to teach you the new system. There's no need to learn it because green sheets are going away May 1st, so there's no reason for you to learn it. But that is a good point to all of our existing agents. If you do a green sheet and then do a commissions in command, basically it makes the MCA office think that there's double money coming in, right? And so just do one or the other. Oh, wait a second. Happy birthday, Connie. Somebody just put on chat that it's Connie Wardenberg, our broker's birthday. Connie, is that accurate?
I was 69 yesterday.
Well, my goodness. Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank
I
you.
have a feeling that today's 3 o'clock happy hour may come with a happy birthday sing-along for Connie. We may have to get everybody.
I've had several happy birthday songs, and let me tell you, none of my kids or friends can sing. But neither can I, so.
You know what? And I feel like that's gonna be the consensus for us too if we do it. But happy birthday, Connie. You know, you don't look
happy birthday.
You don't look a
Thank
day
you.
over 55. I'll tell you that right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Connie is as ornery as ever, and she takes good care of us. She is still sharp as a tack. She rides me like a rented mule and keeps me in line. And we're grateful to have you, and we hope we have you with us for a long time. I made her promise she couldn't retire for another 5 to 10 years. She's got to be here to help me out. So
Thanks,
she's not going
guys.
anywhere. Happy birthday, Connie. Good job, Matt. Thanks for pointing that out. So, all right, other questions around Jenna's question was great. Yes, when you first start putting in your deals, obviously it's gonna throw your numbers because that's all it has. But as you put them in and work through it, those numbers are gonna level out. So,
One
great.
last question on
Yeah.
that. Should we put in last year's stuff or not?
No, I wouldn't put in anything that closed from last year. I'd put in anything that closed this year and moving forward so that it'll give you a more accurate read.
Okay.
The more that you put in from last year, the longer it would take to start actually giving you your current numbers because it would count them all in as coming in this year. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense. Just wanted
Okay.
to make sure.
No, absolutely. Good question. And you know what? It doesn't have to be one last question, guys. These are question heavy classes, especially the Friday one. I kind of want to, we've been focusing on specific topics each week or each day this week. And on Fridays, if we kind of want to circle back, and if anybody has questions on anything we covered through the week, I'm happy to jump around and show you guys the various different things. So
Martin, can I get some clarity?
I would hope so.
Okay, great. So one of the questions that I had asked Karen is, and one of the things that a lot of these agents are going to start seeing now is contracts falling through.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've created an opportunity and it's under contract, what system do you and Connie and Karen want us using when a contract falls through? Because once it's under contract and you now have all these documents in place, the only way to get rid of those documents is to make it a lost opportunity. Otherwise, what you have to do is go through and replace each and every one of those documents with a new document. But then that means that old document's not saved. So how do you want us handling that as far as documentation and all? Can you guys elaborate on that a little bit?
I want to say that even if it's a lost opportunity and we had it under contract and it falls through mutual release, we still need that in command. And are you saying that we can't then make it a dead deal? Is that the case?
Yeah. So here, can I give you a for instance?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So we had a property on a road go under contract with a 72-hour kickout. Okay. We got a new offer. We kicked the old buyers out. Okay. So now we got to start replacing all the new contracts into the document section. All right. That one fell apart because of financing. We got another contract on it. It's the third contract. The third contract had a kick out on it again. That person was kicked out again into the fourth contract. Now we've got 4 contracts that we either have to create 4 lost opportunities, which skews our statistics and our numbers. So do we show all those lost opportunities? And then I'm also assuming that if you create a lost opportunity, you have to regenerate the entire loop, not loop, that's old terminology, the whole new process of putting it back under contract, redoing all of your documents again. You've essentially got four new contracts, 4 new opportunities that you've created over and over and over again. The workload on there is what I'm looking at going, wow, how do you keep track of all that?
Oh.
So, and Connie, if we could break up the answer, because I think we need to have what the broker needs us to do for compliance. And then I've got a theory on how to work through that on command as far as how to make it less work. So if you want to jump on and talk about what they need to retain even when the deal falls out, and then I'll speak to the command side.
I want to just step in and say that even when a deal falls through, we can still have problems down the road. For example, mutual release of the earnest money and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's important that even when they fall through, that we still have them in command, and then we get another contract, we make a new opportunity. And then Martin, if you can figure out how that can be more easily done, that would be great. But it may skew our numbers, but it may not. It may say, okay, you had 4 contracts and these fell through, so it's going to let your numbers reflect that. I just don't want to eliminate deals even when they do fall through because of the potential of possible lawsuits down the road from a deal, even if it's fallen through.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Connie. And I think, so let me start working on what I think is a solution, and stop me if I'm missing a step or you feel like, there's questions. So everybody, that's a great question. And Matt, what he's saying is he has a listing. Somebody comes in, another agent comes in, puts an offer on. They start working through the process in that opportunity, and then that deal falls out and the buyer backs out for whatever reason, COVID-19, et cetera. And now we got to put it back on the market, and a new buyer comes in and we got new documents. Matt, is that accurate? Okay. So here's the deal. I'm going to go back to my sales pipeline. So my opportunity for that listing. So let's pretend for the sake of this conversation, that Mr. Test Dummy is Matt's client and that I'm in Matt's okay. That listing is the opportunity. If I get an offer in it, that doesn't become an opportunity. The listing is still the opportunity, right? So a buyer brings me an offer. Well, that's still just an offer on my opportunity.
Unless it's our buyer.
Well, okay, and I'll get to that, right? That's a good point. If it's our buyer, but if it's our buyer, you're creating a buyer opportunity and a listing opportunity. Now, if it's your buyer and that buyer falls out, well, yeah, that buyer opportunity goes away, right? But
Correct.
for the purpose of this discussion, if it's the listing, I have this listing for Mr. Test Dummy. I'm Matt Ford. I have Mr. Test Dummy as a client. Somebody comes in and makes me an offer. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to go to my documents, and I'm uploading. My wheel is spinning. Give me a minute. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Come on, internet. What are you doing to me? There you go. All right. So, and I'm in here, and I add in all my documents as I'm working through the deal to submit to compliance. And then Connie, the buyer's agent that brought me this buyer, says, yeah, my people have lost a bunch of money in the market, et cetera, et cetera. They're bailing out. Okay. So what do I do there? Well, this listing opportunity has not changed. I still have Mr. Test Dummy's listing. The issue is I'm going to need to replace these documents with Elise, who's the next agent to bring me a buyer. I'm going to need to put that contract in. I'm going to need to put that, amendments in. I'm going to need, so what I would suggest you do is you have all of those documents together. That's how you put them into Command, right? You have those documents somewhere. What I would do is create a custom folder within that opportunity and say, canceled buyer deal 1. All right. Canceled buyer deal 1. I'd create that folder, and then I'd go down and I'd add all of those documents into the canceled buyer deal 1, right? And then I would replace the documents with Elise's new documents. So you're not creating a new opportunity each time, and it's like Connie said, we need to retain these documents just in case. Well, all of the canceled deals, so the what's it called here, a mutual release? The mutual release would be in that folder. So we'd be able to go back to that listing and see all of the different deals. So that's what I think would be the workaround there, Matt, is create a custom folder here in your documents section on your opportunity, and then just all the deal that fell apart, load all those documents into that canceled buyer deal folder, and then just replace the new ones in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. In the event, let's give it for instance, the first contract, you have the offer and then you have counter offer 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If on the second offer, now they've been kicked out. So counter offer 1's no longer an actual contract. It's been mutually released. On the second offer, you only have the contract and no counter offer. Do you guys have the ability to remove those documents out of that under contract section? Because you don't need it anymore. That's not a part of that contract. And it'll look it's going to look crazy if we can't remove documents out of that section there.
So you have the ability to do that, right? So
no.
Okay, well, let me walk through and see and make sure that so let's say, where's the counter offer section here? Well, it doesn't matter. Any of these, if you add a file. So let's say I'm going to add a file in here, and I'm going to do it from my computer, and I'm going to just take, give me anything that I've got here. Culture Day challenges, that's fine. Oh, that doesn't have any. I need a Word document.
Fantasy hockey?
Fantasy hockey statistics, yes. Yeah. What do you got? You got a problem with that, man?
No, I'm good.
Why you sweating me, bro?
Are you sure you're from Texas and not Canada?
Yeah, you hoser. Leave me alone. Okay. So hold on. Can you just drag and drop into the canceled folder? I don't think so, Lynn. No, you cannot drag and drop into the canceled folder. So, all right. So I loaded up. This is my capper call sheet. This is something I use in my lead generation forms, right? So Matt, you're saying if something's loaded up in here and you don't need it anymore, how do you 86 it? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
See these little dots over here?
Yep.
I click on those. I click remove. Boom.
I'm jumping into mine. I don't think we as agents have that ability, but let me double check that.
Okay. Well, if you don't, then that answers the other question that yes, we do. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, you do. No, our options are only to replace it, the version history, and to print that document. So if we want to get it removed, we just have to send you or Connie a message and say, please remove from.
Sure. Reach out. Yeah. Me, Connie, Karen, we should all have that Command MC access. So that's a great question. And that's something, I forget I have leadership command. So it's a little bit different on some of the things you guys can do. That's a great point though.
Is that something that we need to let corporate know that maybe that needs to be changed so they can remove it?
Yeah, that'd be a great thing. Well, okay. The thing is,
maybe they don't want agents to remove things that they shouldn't.
That's what I was fixing to say. Is it's kind of like if you remember, and of course our Four Seasons family never worked in .loop, but if you remember in .loop, agents couldn't 86 a document once it was there. They could archive it,
right?
Couldn't get rid of it because they don't want you to put something in a deal and then go back and pull. Not that anybody would cheat, but it's a protecting you from yourself type situation, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Matt, that's a great point, and we do have the ability, clearly. So if you guys need something removed out of it, reach out to me or Karen or somebody, and we can get in and remove it on our end. Elise points out, this has nothing to do with this training, but you all want to know KRMS is giving free 30-second commercials this morning to businesses that are still operating, which means all of you can call in. That's right. You agents that are still running a real estate business, that's an essential service, call into whatever KRMS is. They'll give you a free 30-second commercial. So that's exciting. All right. So Matt, did the other thing on the folders and solve your problem there where you don't have to create the 4 new opportunities?
Yes, I believe so. Let's try that out. I'm actually working one right now that I'm gonna try and do that with and experiment with.
Okay.
See if we can make that happen. I think so.
Excellent. And if you're digging through it and get into a spot where you find something, holler at me. We'll set up a Zoom or something real quick, or I can send you a Loom and we'll sort it out. So let me know how that goes. This is why we do these, guys, is to mastermind and have ahas, and we're all about helping each other out so that we grow. So other questions around that? That was a really good question. Now, from the buyer opportunity standpoint, let's say just to kind of double down and hit it from both sides. So let's say we're working with a buyer, right? So now Joe Mama, my test buyer, he's buying a house, right? So if he makes an offer, once again, the opportunity is working with Mr. Joe Mama, right? Working with my buyer. So by the same token, if we made an offer on a house and we'd sent over all these contracts and we're trying to work it out, and then that deal fell through because I was working with Matt Ford, and he's a tough negotiator, and we couldn't get him to give up any money for repairs, and so we walked away from the deal. Well, I could create a custom folder, put all that over in it, but I'd still redo the next contract, the next 1 to 4 family contract, et cetera, would go into that buyer's opportunity documents, right? So each listing or each buyer is an opportunity, not each offer that they make, if that is clear as mud for anybody. All right, questions around that before we dive into something else? It's open forum Friday, so if anybody has anywhere they want us to go just like that, great questions, and we can dive in.
How did Priscilla's ad do?
How did Priscilla's ad do? That's a great question. So we put together an ad on one of Priscilla's listings. Now, I did not have the access, so it's a little bit of a different you guys will do better because you're running it from your Facebook, and Matt and Connie and Sherry Wigg and any of our agents can tell you they've had a lot of success. Because I couldn't get my stupid Facebook to work, we kind of cheated our way through it to just do the example. But in let's see, since we started it, this is the ad that we ran on Priscilla's listing. She's had 11,000 impressions. So 12,000 people have seen her listing. 98 people have clicked on it. Now, Priscilla, I'm trying to remember. I don't know that she's on here. Let me view this campaign. What am I trying to find here? Campaign dates, durations. So the one active campaign, you can see I had 11,049. So I didn't capture any leads, but that's because I didn't set up it to feed me leads through my Facebook, right? We put in a website and tried to drive it to Priscilla's website. So there may have been some lead activity through there we can't track. The way you guys will do it, the one difference is you'll set it up, connect it to your Facebook account where it'll drive back through your lead generator to your command, and your actual leads captured will go there, right?
Can I remind people that, especially new agents or agents that don't have listings, if you can get approval from another agent in our office to allow you to do this on Facebook, you can get leads from someone else's listing, which is a really good thing for a new agent.
Yep. No, that's a great point. And of course, I didn't get a hold of Priscilla before. I just grabbed it, but I talked to her after, and she said, "No, that's fine. Anytime you want to advertise my listings for me, Martin, you go right ahead." And so we did a great job. We got a ton of impressions, and we got 98 clicks. So if you have been working in the pay-per-click avenue, you know that clicks are important. You can see this one we did for the Staten Group, and by the end of this, we still have 4 days to go. These numbers are going to continue to go up, right? So Priscilla's ad is doing very well. I don't have access to her website to know if any leads have been generated through her, whatever website she was using, but that's a great question, Elise, and there you go. So it shows you how a little spin and a little tweaking, and we were just we kind of slapped this together as an example. If you spend a little time tweaking, I know Matt's had tons of success. Sherry's had tons of success. We're seeing tons of success, and people are building their database. I mean, Robin Staten from the Staten Group had tons of success. So, lots of great things coming with these Facebook campaigns. Miss Margie says, documents, seller's disclosure plats, etc., that need to be on MLS Matrix are uploaded by who, when, and how? Yes through command, no through command. Okay, so Margie, if it's a document that needs to go into the MLS, then the agent needs to upload that through their listing to the transaction desk. You can't upload to the MLS from command, right? Command is your platform with your documents, and you can work through and do all your business, etc. But if you have a seller's disclosure that needs to be attached to your listing, you need to go to that listing, and they're on command and they're on the matrix, the MLS, and upload that to the transaction desk. And if you have struggles with that, I know Elise is very familiar with how to do that and is probably happy to walk you through the process. Would that be accurate, Elise? She's nodding yes, everyone.
Yeah, we'll do a recorded Zoom about it too.
Yeah, we can do a Zoom or a Loom around that as well. Absolutely. We can get training out there. And if we need to be old school and stand right there over your shoulder and point to where to click, I'm happy to do that with you as well. But that's a great question, Margie. All right. So this is the campaigns. We can see it's still running and it's active. Any other questions around that? This is great. I kind of love bouncing around. What are you grinning about, Ford?
Oh, I was bashing your hockey, and Dustin's bashing me about my Alabama fandom here.
Yeah.
They're coming right back to me.
Attaboy, Dimmer. Get him. Go get him. Actually, you know what? Now that Matt's pointed it out, I got to be honest. The fantasy hockey stats is where I hide all my password files. So now I'm going to have to go rename it. I just call it fantasy hockey stats because no one that hacks you would ever look at your fantasy hockey stats. So now I'm going to have to go change something. I
You know
know
what's great is it's just such a big extended family. Everybody can poke on one another and have fun. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, if you really want to get on Matt Ford for our Four Seasons family that may not know, he's a 49ers fan. So he had a rough time just a little while ago.
Yeah, for some reason, April 1st, I got a bunch of memes on the 49ers celebrating the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny.
Yeah. Go Chiefs. All right. So, okay. So diving back in, I want to come over here and, you'll hear us at Keller Williams, especially for our Four Seasons family, but we all need to be aware of this, and all of our agents could do to hear this. And that is we talk a lot about our numbers, and your numbers is your business, right? That's how you know if you're truly a business person, you want to run a business, your numbers are how you know how you're doing, how you know where you're going, how you know where you need to improve. One of the great things about Command is all the reports and kind of the different things that it'll tell you about your business, right? Now, mine looks a little skewed because I'm not an active agent. So I've only had a few leads come in as we've practiced with all of this. But you can take a look at your database overview, total records, how many contacts versus how many leads. You can track what percentage. So Jordan mentioned yesterday, or Matt won on Wednesday, one of them mentioned, hey, maybe you take a look at the end of the year where your business came from, and you realize that only 8% came from something you were spending a bunch of money on. This is where you track that, right? So you can see, where did your lead sources come from? How did you get your business? If 33% was from Command web pages and 67% was from the KW app, that tells me I need to push my app more, right? Because my app is what's generating all my business. Now, you agents that are actually actively working and you're putting in a lot of leads, you might say open houses and Facebook. And if you're buying Zillow leads, you might say Zillow. This will give you a way to actually track, well, where did my leads come from? And you can tune your business up to understand, well, okay, I'm spending all this money on Zillow leads, and that gave me 10% of my business. And I spent nothing on open houses and only $20 on a Facebook campaign, and I got 70% there. Well, I need to focus on those things that aren't costing me much money and get rid of that Zillow and get rid of that Realtor.com, right? Quit letting them sell me my information back to me. It'll also give it to you in the last week, month, or this month, so that you can even do more real-time tracking of what successes you're having. So if you ran ad campaigns, you did, et cetera, whatever activities you undertook last month, you can go back and track, well, how many leads did that generate for me? What percentage of my leads came from that? And you can understand how to fine tune your business. And that's something that's really critical, guys, is before, agents, you had to really struggle to understand, where's my business coming from? Where do I direct my money? Where do I direct my time or effort? Now you have a platform that, as you interact with it, is going to learn your business and say, hey, you know what, Connie, you need to spend more time focused on your web page, because that's where all your business comes from. Or, hey, you know what, Martin, those open houses you hold are high level and you're generating 10, 15 leads in open house. You need to be doing one of those every weekend, and you'll have all the business you need, right? So it's going to teach you about your business and about where your successes and failures are. You're also going to get your database health score. Guys, right now, and you know what? I'm saying this and I'm looking at mine saying, wow, I've got 40% of my database hasn't heard from me in the last 30 to 60 days. That's not good, right? I need to be reaching out. Now, my database is other real estate agents that we're talking to about joining us. I'm not lead generating for active business. So obviously, we've been working with our Four Seasons family a lot, and I need to put them in my database, and that'll up my deal. And these that I have reached out to are primarily our agents, where, my job is also to take care of our agents, check in on them. And that's what we've been spending a lot of time kind of circling the wagons, focusing on our new family and our existing family and getting them in. But if you're an agent and you're at home and you want to lead generate, you've got your database, man, this right here, you've had a lot of time at home, right? Jordan's been doing a bold 100 every day. I'll bet hers says 80% have heard from her in the last 30 days, right? That's what you want. So if you don't have any business, you don't have anything going right now, maybe you need to look at your database health activity score and say, gee whiz, no wonder I don't have any business. I haven't called anybody in the last 90 to 100 days. I haven't touched anybody. You can compare yourself to agents in your market center. You can compare yourself to agents in your state. You can compare yourself to all KW agents, right? Or one of my favorite features is you can compare yourself to agents in the production bracket right above yours. So if you're a $4 million producer and you're wondering how does Connie Wardenberg do $10 million a year in business? Well, look, compare your database activity to hers. If they're doing 10 million in business, I'll bet it says that their database has heard from them in the last 30 days, right? That right there can be as simple as that. So great way to track yourself and compare against other agents, right? You can also filter by, have you texted them? Have you emailed them? Did you go on the calendar? Did you do a call? Did you do a note? Did you have a meeting? So you can really dive into your numbers and see what your activity is what you're doing for activity. And by contrast, what is that activity generating, right?
Can I get a break here and interject a question?
Absolutely, please. I was getting dry throat. I'm over here coughing.
Get you a drink, have something warm.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so unless it's in command, what we're doing is not going to show up as being done, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Because it's not going to tie into our market leader and stuff.
No, ma'am, it won't. Now there are some integrations for things like market leader, and you know, command's still in its first year. So as we watch it grow, I would imagine some of this data will transfer and the integrations will continue to improve. But no, right now, the only thing the command AI is tracking is the activities you undertake within the command AI.
Okay. One other question. Do we have a bot at all that works in Messenger to keep people engaged? I thought with Kelly we were supposed to end up with a bot.
You mean like a Facebook Messenger bot?
Well, it's a robot that interacts on our behalf.
An artificial intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have Twilio engaged, the Twilio will send out text messages for you. It won't interact. As far as if they ask it back a question, it's not going to say, you know, if your Twilio sent out a text that said, hey, this is Jenna, hope you're doing good, let's grab coffee sometime, and it said, hey, Jenna, how are you? The Twilio bot won't say, hey, I'm great, how are you? Bots are coming. I know as creepy as that is to some people, the bots are coming. They're building bots all the time, and you see some pluses and minuses. Because I know one of our agents, Trevor and Sydney, they had some Twilio set up and didn't realize that the texts were communicating, and people were trying to communicate back, and they got that arrested and found what their issue was. But as of right now, Kelly will not communicate on your behalf. No, it's not a bot. Now, Kelly will communicate with you as far as sending you out your smart plans, virtual assistant, but I would think the bots are going to be built in at a later date. We do not have a bot at this point.
For those of us that are with Brivity, don't we have one of those in Brivity?
I don't know. Do you? I'm not familiar with
You have
Brivity. I don't know if there are bots. I'm not saying that the bots don't exist. I'm saying that the command platform doesn't have a bot that does that yet. If Brivity may very well. And you know, if you want to look into signing up for Brivity or you know, etc., that's certainly everyone can purchase their platform. But Brivity is not. I've literally never spent 1 minute in Brivity, so I would defer to you. You guys know more about it than I do. So does Brivity have it? That's what I was saying. I would defer to you. All right, I lost him. I lost Jenna or Terry. But yes, Brivity does.
Oh, I'm still here.
No. Okay. Yeah. Does Brivity, if Brivity has something like that, I mean, they're out there, bots are out there, and integrations are being built. They even keep saying there's a Brivity integration coming, although we haven't exactly been able to figure that out, much to our chagrin. Dustin asks, do the Twilio message responses come back to us through Kelly as text message notifications? And Matt says yes. I was just fixing to say, hey, Matt, jump on that. Yes, they do. So when
Yes, they do. It comes back to your Kelly, and it'll shoot you a notification on your phone. It says you have a lead text, and then it will also go underneath your little bell on your command and also tells you what that text, who it's from and what it is.
Excellent. So there you go. Great question, Dustin, and great answer, Matt. Thank you very much. So, and you know, guys, I encourage everybody all the time. Command, and this is what we love about it. Command is not perfect; it never will be. It's always growing. We launched this a year ago for our agents, right? And there are certainly some other products that you can spend a lot of money on that will have some slicker services. But you know, the ability to do those things is either being built in, worked on. I mean, we're still in our first year and we see it improving all the time. I can tell you, those of us that dove in last February, we were kind of like, oh man, we broke this thing a million times. Now it's running like a champ. And anything that you want it to do like that, like Jenna and Terry have a great point. Hey, what about communication bots? Go up here, click the question mark, and post an idea, right? Post that idea to the labs. If it gets enough traction, they will build it in. They are working on stuff all the time that agents say, we want this, they'll build it in, right? So that's a great question, a great point. So I know we've been all over the map today, but we've dove into several topics. Anybody else have some questions, things they want to look at? We got a few more minutes here, and then we'll let you guys get on to your busy Friday of at the Tech Roadshow introducing Command. Every time we asked, will it do this or that, the answer was yes. Right. So I wasn't at the Tech Roadshow, but yeah, and I think the point there is it will do everything as they grow and build it. You know, because we're building it all the time and growing it, it may not do everything from day one, but you know, that's how any platform is, right? You can take the iPhone, you can take Zoom, the thing we're using right now, Zoom. When Zoom first launched, it didn't do what it does now. You know, that's the nature of technology, is it's always building. Even something like a Brivity, when it first launched, it didn't do everything that it does now, you know. And that's, our platform is growing all the time, and they're adding to it constantly, you know. And that's a great point, is that, yeah, the answer is yes, it's all coming.
Martin, you might let Four Seasons people know Gary's vision and what he's done to develop this AI for Keller Williams only, and how he invested in us agents and with no charge to us. You might let them know what kind of guy he really is.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. You know, Keller Williams is building all of this to try to keep the agents. You know, our focus is always, and I think our Four Seasons family has learned this as we've all spent some time together, is we want you to run the business. You know, we want you to have the business worth owning, the business that you want to have. And we want to keep the agent at the center of the transaction. And the other thing we want to do is we want to keep costs down, right? So many agents have bought so many, there's been lots of very slickly packaged sales and vendors and things like that. And if you sit down and do an audit with agents, the amount of money that they can spend and get a very low return on has been, you know, significant. And I think what Keller Williams has done by saying, look, we're going to build the Keller Cloud, we're going to build the artificial intelligence, we're going to give our agents a virtual assistant, an app, a platform to run their business, and all of that is going to be, you know, we've reduced. For those of you that just joined us, it's a $75 a month office dues. That was $95 a couple months ago. We're driving the cost of being in real estate down, right? They pay me to help you learn how to not pay us to sell real estate, right? That's how big, that's what Keller Williams is doing, is saying, hey, agents, you know what? We want you to be at the center of it. We want you to do business at a high level. What can we do to drive your costs down? So great point, Connie. Can you mass email your contacts? Man, yes. I had an email from Mobile Monkey, free forever chat marketing. I have not checked it out yet. I was curious if anyone else uses this. That's a good question, Jenna. I have not heard of Mobile Monkey. Has anybody heard of Mobile Monkey? Had any experience with it? Can you shed some light on that for us? Although I kind of want to check them out just because their name is Mobile Monkey, and I feel like I want a Mobile Monkey. So, you know, I love it. No, Jenna, haven't checked it out yet, but I would be interested to hear what it is. App.mobilemonkey, get your monkey on your back. Is that their slogan? Really? Is get your monkey on your back? That's kind of funny. No, that's our new slogan. Okay. Is the bee selling team, get your monkey on your back. I like it. I like it. That's a good one. All right. So, you know, that's another great example of how, guys, if you discover something, bring it to us. We love, you know, Matt the other day, he said, show me some ahas, right? That's the coach in Matt. That's why he's a great coach, is he sat there silently and said, show me some ahas. And the reason we do that, that's a Kellerism for our new family that you'll hear us use a lot, is because ahas are things that I hear and I say, man, that really made a big impact on me, and that could help my business. And if I share that, well, maybe Connie hears it and says, oh man, that's a good point. I didn't catch that when they said it. I'm going to take it away too. So always be bringing your value to everyone. And if you find something like that, share it to us. That's a great thing. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. All right. So we got just a couple more minutes. We looked at the reports. We looked at our dashboard for our reports. We looked at, this will tell you your listing opportunity overview, your buyer opportunity overview. You can go year to date. You can go month to date. You can see what you did last month. Goals. Mine are just, I played around with them and sent it. But Andy's going to be doing a class next week, setting your goals. So, you know, be a part of that class, and it'll track your goals and show you what you need to do to reach what you want to achieve, right? And then even now we have analytics. So if you are sending out emails, it'll track who clicked on them, who opened them. It'll give you metrics. So just another thing they're adding to it. Martin, can you show Marina how to do the mass email? Yes, ma'am, I can. Marina, that's something take us maybe a few too many minutes here, but I will put a loom together for that, and I will send it out to everybody with a quick mass email loom. How about that? That's a great question. All right. So Marina, we'll get that out to everybody. Good question. What else? You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. All right. What else can I show you guys? You know what? Let's do this real quick. You've heard us talk about KWLS. KWLS is the Keller Williams listing service. So on top of when you put as a Keller Williams agent, when you put your feed in, and Amy's working on making sure all our Four Seasons families matrix feeds are connected, it also feeds into what we call the KWLS, right? So obviously there's no listings associated with my account because I am not I'm not an agent, so I have no listings, right? But I can search an area, and there you go. It'll pop up and show us all the listings that are in there. The other thing that it'll do is it'll go out to all the other Keller Williams agents. And now it does take the feeds update at midnight. So if you, it's not instant. If you put it in the matrix, it may take a day or two for it to migrate over to the KWLS. But that's what we're talking about when you hear us talk about KWLS. And it's a great way to find Keller Williams listings in an area. Also a great, it's where you'll get your information for your designs and your, what am I thinking of? Your campaigns, et cetera, that you want to advertise your listings. That's the KWLS.
Okay, it's Jenna again. I got a question here, and I've inputted this many times and nobody's acted on it, and I'm not smart enough to know how to act on it. So does KWLS have its own IDX feed?
Does KWLS have its own IDX feed where the where the KWLS could feed to like a website?
Exactly.
Hush.
No.
Connie says yes. Oh no, she said hush to the puppy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
she was saying hush to the puppies. No, so KWLS kind of takes an IDX feed from the matrix, right? So the IDX is the matrix feeds the listings to the KWLS.
Okay, so my question is, would it be legal to use KWLS as a way to allow us all to Facebook market properly with a website where people can search listings? Since our board will not allow us to use that, so many other boards around us are able to use Facebook with an IDX so that you basically have a website within Facebook that works.
Well, and I'd have to defer to Connie as the broker, but my thought, Jenna, would be if it's not against MREC rules, then I can't imagine why not if you could find a way to make that work. Connie, Connie, if you can't see Connie's picture, she is looking she's scowling. She's trying to think of it. Hold on, let me unmute Connie. She's trying to talk,
Okay.
but she's muted.
She may have to unmute herself.
Yeah, Connie, can you unmute yourself? I'm not having success. There you go.
I don't know the answer to that, and is your question that can you put on Facebook a search that will search the entire MLS? Is that the question?
No, the
Well-
KWLS.
Well, because the board is not interested in allowing us to use the IDX feed through Facebook, but I keep getting emails from Facebook wanting me to set up in my area the IDX feed. Check to see if your board allows it. Always comes into my emails. And this would allow us to run websites through Facebook. I figured other people were getting these emails too.
I don't know the answer to that. That would be a Cindy question, and she's very good at answering those kind of things. So just call Cindy at the board and say, hey, can we do this?
Well,
I've
but
done-
Connie, her question is, can she use the KWLS feed, not the board feed? So it wouldn't be a Cindy question, right? Because that's the board. This would be more of a, is it if MREC doesn't care?
I was just thinking it was a way for Keller Williams to be more prominent within Facebook, because believe me, I think the Facebook social media, Instagram and all this stuff brings us leads.
No, I agree. Social media is where it's at, and Facebook is where it's at. Jenna, Connie's gonna fall over in her chair when I say, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission sometimes. And Matt's palming his face. It's the coach in me. What can you say? I'm just thinking about you agents out there doing business. We'll sort it out. I would say if you could find a way to feed the listings, we certainly have the ability to share these listings via our Facebook. Dustin, I'm going to lose you here, buddy. There you go. We certainly have the way to share these listings through these Facebook ads that we're running. So it certainly seems like we're sharing a listing at a time to Facebook. Ergo, if we could find a way to build that search in, I would say give it a shot.
Well, I'm going to forward over one of these emails to you guys.
Okay,
What's
send
the
it to me.
advantage? I don't understand the advantage of having MLS on Facebook or an IDX feed on Facebook.
Well, if that's where most of your leads are coming from, then that would be a good place to try to send people to your Facebook page if they can do a search on there. Right, Matt?
I think you can embed, and I know where I came from, you could do this, and I think what she's saying is some boards let you. You could put an IDX feed on your business Facebook page where people could search the MLS through your Facebook page. Jenna, is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, if you're using social media at a high level and it's all about driving traffic. I don't hate the idea. I see Matt's wheels turning.
Yeah, I know there's been, I know that's been a hot topic with our ML or with our board. So I don't think they're going to allow that from what I've understood. And Connie probably has a little bit more insight than I do on the MLS committee. I don't think they're going to allow that. There may be a workaround. I don't know.
Because it's called a Facebook MLS search built to generate and capture leads. Check your MLS for availability. I see Columbia's in it and some of the other ones, and we're not.
Then again, Jenna, I think the thing to do is to call Cindy.
I have. It's like, you get nowhere with that. I've sent this
Did she
email
say
to
no?
them.
Well, and when you hear us talk about things like scarcity mindset, I think the board down here may still be governed by some of that. So this is a great chance for me to jump on my political platform of all of our agents need to run for positions of power in the board, turn out the vote, and let's get some of these things changed, because I think we should be able to do that.
Well, I hope I sent the email to you, Martin. I went mrkw@kw.com.
That's me, Mr. KW at kw.com, mrkw at kw.com.
Would you
Connie,
mind
I
sending that to
I
me as
shared it with
well,
you,
Jenna?
Connie.
Okay.
Jenna, will you send it to me, please?
Sure, honey.
Send it to Matt, and we'll get a group thing going around it. So, all right. So thank you, everybody. It's 10:05. I know we went a little bit over, but there's great conversations here. I want to thank everybody for participating all week long. I want to thank Matt, Jordan, Sherry Stevens, everyone that has participated all week long. Connie, Karen, we've had a ton of great Zooms. I'm getting a ton of great feedback. I think for my agents that were with us at Lake of the Ozarks, our Four Seasons family has expressed a lot of gratitude, and they said, man, you guys really pour into each other, you really help each other, and I'm so proud of all of my agents for showing that culture and setting that example. I can't thank you enough. I want to remind you all to continue to pray for our nation and each other as we go through this time. We will get through it. We'll be sending out a link for next week's 9 a.m. Zooms. We have a new schedule, lots of great classes. We're going to continue to pour into everybody and do this as long as it takes to get through this. So thank you, everyone, for participating. Be looking for your link for this afternoon's happy hour on Zoom. I'll get all these videos from the week loaded up to YouTube, and you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you same bat time, same bat station next Monday morning, 9 a.m. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Question.
Oh,
Hey, quick question.
quick question.
I need to bring money to the KW office. Is
Okay.
someone there today that I can give that to?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Jenna, I'm always here.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. Schultz,
Oh, hey, Karen. Okay. I
All
will
right.
text you, Karen, when I'm on my way, sweetie.
That's fine. I just throw a cot up here. I'm just here.
Yeah, we
All right,
we
honey.
chained her to her desk till we get through this.
All
right.
right.
Happy birthday,
Bye-bye.
Connie. Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.